Welcome back, everybody. It's been an exciting few days here in the Bleak Inlet. We've had near-death experience by falling into the water, near-death experience by getting caught in a blizzard, and we're still working on recovering back to full health from our triple death challenge that started this run. It's almost the end of the night here at the trailer in the Bleak Inlet Cannery. Our goals for the remainder of this run are to recover back to full health, which is just 1 day away, which is pretty close. We're going to harvest the rest of the bear meat that we left behind when the blizzard rolled in, try to collect the rest of the memento notes and loot caches that they correspond to, and then ideally turn the rest of this trailer here into a workshop with a workbench and a furniture bench and craft some clothing. Might run out of time in terms of when I had originally intended to end the run, which is at that 28-hour mark of recovering back to full health, but maybe we'll clear those objectives and call it an end to Reckless Rex and his run here in Pilgrim mode. So go ahead and get started for the day. Right now, I think what I'm going to do is just head out to the bear meat and get the rest of it harvested up so that it doesn't spoil and disappear on us, because that will happen if you leave quartered game meat in its bags for too long. I don't know the timing of it, but it seems to happen relatively quickly. We'll make our way back there, and when we do, we'll get the memento cache that was on the lighthouse, and then come back for the one that's at the hunter's blind that we saw a few episodes ago, and then potentially some fishing gear that was indicated at the end of the road that way in the back of a truck, which I think we've also put eyes on already. In Pilgrim mode, it's a beautiful night to be walking around in Aurora. We don't have to worry about any deranged animals sneaking up on us or stalking us to the point of attack. It's pretty cool to just be able to walk around and enjoy the view. We are pretty much out of contingencies in terms of protecting ourselves from recovering from a dumb mistake, so we've made a couple of those, and we've used all of the kind of special tools in the toolbox, namely the stim, some of the energy drinks, and obviously our limited health is impairing us from being able to get too far out there without having to suffer some consequences. 28 hours to go until we are back to 100% full health. We've got food to last us well through that time, and I think we're in pretty good shape. It occurred to me kind of halfway through charging back to the trailer with the bear harvest that we probably could have stopped there and not had nearly as much issue with freezing to death in the blizzard, but I honestly was lost. I didn't know I wasn't confident that I could get to that point, even though, as we'll see in clear skies and good visibility, that it's like right over this hill. But in an act of desperation, we went to the known location of the trailer, and it cost us a stim, but it didn't cost us our life, so we'll call it a win. And learn something for next time, learn something for harder difficulties if we ever encounter that situation again. So I guess that light there in the distance kind of shows the general direction of where the cannery workers' residence are, and then the bear meat is right here. So I mean, it was literally over this hill. We had a couple hundred yards to walk. Definitely made a logistical error trying to go all the way back to the trailer, but hey, when you're in a life and death situation, you kind of have to go with the decision that you made and stick to it, because hesitation and indecision can get you in a lot more trouble. I just realized I don't have any shoes on. I'm not sure why that is. I don't remember taking off my shoes, and I can't think of any reason why they would have been destroyed to the point of being unwearable. Yeah, they're not in the inventory, so let me know in the comments if you saw me do that and when that occurred. I didn't even realize until just moments ago that was the case. So Reckless Rex being dumb yet again, walking around with no shoes in the middle of the night. This was the path that we should have taken to not only decrease the distance of shuttling the bear meat, but also minimizing our time spent in the blizzard. You live and you learn. Might even be a shorter over this little hill. I'll try that when we come back. Still can't figure out why I wouldn't have any shoes on. Unless maybe when we were frantically dropping gear for our access into the workshop, I just dropped them out of the inventory. It's the only thing I can think of that I would have done to take shoes off of my feet. That's pretty cool. If they're not in the cabin or the trailer, then I have no idea. Alright, we got a little bit of light working in here with the remainder of the Aurora. We're just going to drop those for now and go get the rest of it, and we'll come back and harvest. And I guess we'll be running around barefoot until we get back to the trailer to pick up the loot cache or whatever it is that we might find out on the old lighthouse. I think the note said something that would indicate that it was a flare. So it's probably not going to be super exciting. And it might be nothing at all, who knows? I mean, we did the survey from the radio hut. Nothing popped up over there at the lighthouse, so wow, we were 200 yards from safety. I don't think it's worth it to take all of them at once. It's just so slow. You just leave 2 behind and come right back. Wow. A little more awareness of your surroundings and can dramatically improve your situation. That was a long haul back to the trailer, being heavy and obviously super dangerous with the blizzard rolling in on us in the middle of the harvest and freezing us to the point where what we got within 2% of our life. Alright. We brought 2 back. We got 2 more to go get. It's like I was saying earlier, it's important to harvest the quartered meat as quickly as you can because it disappears. And I thought that might have been based on the condition of the meat that's inside the bag, but a lot of times it seems like it disappears way faster than it would be possible for that meat to deteriorate. So I really don't know what the mechanic is there of when this will disappear on you. It has to do with, maybe not touching it. It's like 86% right now. Could have left one behind and done another little experiment, but I don't think Rex is going to be hanging out long enough for it to matter. In a previous run in Timberwolf Mountain, I was able to take down a bear kind of on the hill above Mountaineer's Hut. And I wasn't able to get back to the kill site for, it couldn't have been any longer than 3 days. But I brought, whatever I could carry from the original harvest of quartering up the bear to the cabin, and then when I returned to the spot, everything was gone. So from that experience, I can say it can be as little as 3 days. That's a generous estimate because I felt that I had returned, the very next day. I definitely did go through a sleep, but it didn't seem long enough to where I had any indication that it was going to disappear. All right, I'm going to light a lantern just so you guys can kind of see what I'm going to grab, and then I'll try to do this relatively quickly because it's nothing super interesting to watch here. But I'm going to get all of it into my possession, make it so that I am in position to where I can drop it into this trunk, and then we'll continue about our way. So I'm going to kill the light and look at our stats real quick. We've got plenty of everything, so we're just going to get into it. And I think for the sake of time, I'm just going to do it all at once, and that way we're not watching this animation 100 times while I get the meat ready. This is not the way to harvest your meat if you're trying to build your skills as quickly as possible. Every time you go through this little animation is when your skill points, you can see the knife there on the right, will build. So I think I'm kind of just, this is all as if I was like harvesting one piece of meat. Whereas, if you did it in half kilo fillets, you would be doing this like 10 times. So, but for sake of time and entertainment value, we will we'll do it like this. Something kind of interesting. I don't know if you noticed, but the first two were done with the hatchet at 40 minutes, and the knife was taking over an hour to harvest. Now that the meat is thawing out a little bit, the knife is a more efficient tool. So depending on the condition of the meat, in terms of its level of frozenness, different tools will work better for different scenarios. So always, cycle through your tools that you have on hand and see what the best one would be. Sun's coming up, so we can at least not just be staring into the dark while we do this. It's nice. Nice oak trunk footlocker. Nice if you could take that with you, bring it to a different location. It'd be cool to have that in the trailer. We really utilized our time pretty well on this recovery period. I don't feel like there was a whole lot of dead time between activities or objectives. The decision to go around and unlock the upper part of the map, I think, made for the series to be worthwhile so that we have a whole map to explore. I'm going to keep all of these 0.42 ones and then put all of the 1 kilo fillets into this trailer, or into this trunk. 28 kilos of bear meat waiting for us in the residential workers' houses, or the cannery workers' residence, rather. It looks like we've maybe never cleared the junk in this place. I'm not actually sure how thoroughly we've looted this place. I think we got here pretty early, and we were concerned about getting warm and kind of getting stabilized, so it's like most of it's actually pretty cleared out. We'll just remember that we've got some meat in here, and if we wanted to, we could even make a note in our kind of general notes here. So you can look at each day that you've gone through, and you can switch over to notes, and that would be a note for that particular day. And then when you do make a note, say like a day one note, it then flags the log, so you can see the little pencil mark in the top left that there's something was written there. If I delete that, then it'll go away. And now there's no note written there. So it's kind of a good way. Sometimes we use day one to like fill out our objectives so that we can keep track of everything that we're going to do. So like find all memento cache. And then what else did we want to do? Build workbench and furniture bench, and then craft clothing. That's pretty much it. That's it for Reckless Rex. And then down here in the general notes, put things like where some of your loot caches might live as you explore more of the map and forget what you've left behind. So the cannery residence, we'll say it has 28 kilos of bear meat. And that way, if I come back through Bleak Inlet and I'm looking for food, I know that I left quite a bit there at the house. I'll make a note of that at the trailer as well before I leave, because that's going to be kind of the main base. And obviously you can make notes in whatever form or fashion makes sense to you. Make yourself little like shortcut codes, like maybe like a full kit would indicate to you that there's like tools, first aid, clothing, and food all waiting for you at that base. Or roughly outline some of the major things that you've left behind that might be harder to find in the world than other things like the heavy hammer or the hatchet or the hacksaw. Things that might be unique to a specific area or only appear a couple times in the game, especially on the harder difficulties, when you can't necessarily take all of it with you, but you know that you're going to be wanting to come back for it later. So the rest of this day is just pretty much going to be exploring these memento locations and trying to stay out of trouble, which Rex has mostly been doing a good job of until he isn't, and then it gets ugly really fast. But as you can see, if you've been following along since episode 1, if you hang in there, it's pretty hard to fully die as a pilgrim. We overlooked that the first time through. Just a granola bar, that's not what we're looking for. I think they said they left it on the very tippy top, right? I think we walked up here the first time. I don't see anything. It's glitchy up here. Kind of feels like he wants to fall off of this thing. Let's see, before we leave, let's see what it said. I left it for you at the very top. Shoot it at midnight so I know you're there, Robin. I don't know. We have 3 notes and 2 keys. And we know there's 2 lock boxes that we haven't opened. So maybe we either already got it, or maybe it's just not here for some reason. I know the flare gun is something that we grabbed that was kind of a unique thing to find. I don't remember if we picked it up here, but if we did, that would kind of make sense for that to be kind of the answer to that little riddle. Regardless, we're going to leave it behind and not explore that possibility any further. So it's back to the hunter's blind, I guess, out in the woods, on the way towards what we determined was the exit of the map. I don't think it's too far out there. We're going to have to circumnavigate the inlet here, because that's straight up water, and it doesn't really look like we can march up on top of that bridge too easily, unless we go maybe to the far side of it and then scramble our way up. So we'll walk the coast since we haven't been this way before and Try to be careful of thin ice. And maybe pick up a couple things that have washed in from the tide as well. Looks like there are a couple things here. There's several things. Okay. That's the ice that we were talking about being thin. Rabbit carcass. Painkillers. Firewood. Oh, look at that. You can actually see the ice cracking. Never noticed that before. We've looked in that fishing hut a couple times now. So I don't know if I can walk under this bridge. And even if I can get up the other side, that looks like some potentially steep terrain there. We'll try it since we haven't tried it before. There's something in the ice over there on the ground. Very like distinct shape. It looks very large. Go check that out. This looks like a pallet or something from here. So it looks like it's in some pretty thin ice. It is a pallet. Weird. Alright. Maybe I can hike up here. This looks moderately possible. But will it get me all the way? Nice. Up we go. Alright. So first stop we said was going to be the hunter's blind, which I think is probably a good idea. So are we heavy? Kind of heavy. If we get any more tired, we'll start getting heavy. Maybe I'll leave the food here in the middle of the road and we'll get it on the way back. It's like 10 kilos of meat. That should do it. I feel like Rex has been getting tired very quickly. I don't know if that's just because it's kind of been a little bit disjointed for me as I'm playing, because I've been kind of signing off these episodes and coming back at various times of the day and or night. But I feel like I'm always tired. It's the middle of the day and he's like ready to go to bed, which isn't really a problem. It's just kind of annoying because I don't want to utilize my sprint and then make him exhausted, and then we'll literally be sludging our way to our destinations. Looking forward to starting a new run with Roxy. She's going to take on Voyager mode, and The goal for that will be something similar, recovering from a horrendous start and then trying to get back to full health within the allotted time. Make something of her life here in Great Bear with tools and clothes and maybe a comfortable place to call home. But it'll definitely be a little bit more challenging because the animals are after you once you enter Voyager mode. And they're not super aggressive, but you can't just wander the land aloof to company that inhabits it with you. The resources are still plentiful, so I think it'll be possible to get going from a rough start. And as long as she's a little bit more careful than Rex, I think she can prosper under the Voyager difficulty. But we'll definitely find out, and hopefully you guys will be there to share in the adventure. Alright, here's the first lockbox. Anything good? Noisemakers and pistol ammo. So I don't actually know. Is that a weapon? Yeah. Let's throw on. Whoa. Could probably scare away some wolves. It's like a little grenade. Wonder if it does damage or if it's, as advertised, just a noisemaker. Seemed like it definitely could have done some damage in my hand. Did you see that fuse burning down? It was going pretty quick. I didn't want to hold on to it and find out, especially with our compromised health situation here. Not sure if this is going to be a good idea or not, going this way. If this ice is thin, this could be, oh god. Flashbacks of falling in the ice at Forlorn Muskeg. I don't think I'm going to be able to get back up there. That looks too steep. It's abort mission. We'll go around. I don't think it's that far anyways to get to that truck that has the other memento cache. Too steep. It's a decent example of just kind of like traversing the slope diagonally. If I tried to go straight up that, it wouldn't have let me do it, but kind of just edged my way over to the left and gained a little bit of elevation with each step until I got to the top, and it was no problem. So I'm just trying to find the road again and then backtrack to that truck that has the other lockbox in it, but we never walked all the way out to this broken bridge, so let's check it out and see if there's anything over here that's worth grabbing. Doesn't really look like there is. Coastal Highway Terminus. Let's map it, see what it says. It's kind of the end of the road. The Coastal Highway. I wonder, I guess the map kind of ends there. because the slope's on the other side. But the water is thin down there. We've got other things to do. We'll explore that at a later date. I'm gonna have to sleep because I'm not gonna be able to climb the rope to get back to the workshop. Maybe just a couple hours and we can score our way. The thing I was thinking about a couple days ago was the car batteries. And we can actually break those down with lead, which is used in ammo crafting. Bring at least a couple of those with us and see what we can build with some scrap lead. And there's the other lockbox. A couple nice sweaters, a military coat. Oh yeah, no shoes. Looks like he's coming back from Nam. Stick with the windbreaker. I'm sure that coat's super heavy. I can't believe I don't have any shoes. We started this whole thing with no pants, so it's fitting that we end with no shoes. Rex is always one article short of a full wardrobe. I think we've been down here. This is where we found the bow a few days ago. But I was thinking about it, and I haven't seen a single arrow on this whole map, so I was wondering if maybe I overlooked something when we were down here. In particular, some arrows. Doesn't really look like I did, unless they're hiding inside, but since we're here, we can take one last look, before we call it fully looted. Yeah, we looked through it all, didn't we? Nothing underneath. Could have taken a quick nap. Clear out some junk, but I think we cleared everything else out already. I don't see anything. So a bow but no arrows, and a heavy hammer but no forge. He gave us a rifle and a pistol though. So I guess if you were going to stay in Bleak Inlet forever, you'd have to do your hunting via firearms and rocks. Well, there are the fire-hardened arrows. I think we were talking about those at the beginning of the run, and we never actually ended up making any of those. So maybe when we get a fire going, we can craft a few of those and shoot a deer. I know they'll work on a rabbit, but I don't know if a deer is considered small game, or if they're exclusively for taking down rabbits. Seems like it would kind of make sense for them to work on deer because you've got the rocks for the rabbits, and then the fire-hardened arrows for the deer, and then you have to get into some real weaponry for the predators like the wolves and the bear and the moose. But I don't know the answers to these questions. If we have time, we'll find out. So Rex is now exhausted, and I'm going to pick up 10 kilos of meat. It's going to be an annoyingly painful, slow walk back to the trailer, which is just 100 yards away, but it will be heavy. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Threatened to take a shot at one of these wolves last time, but I was way too slow. I couldn't even really register that he was there before I came around the corner and ran by, so maybe with a second chance. It might have already been him. That wants nothing to do with us. Alright. We're back at the house. We're dropping our gear. Going to be light and nimble. Let's harvest this thing up real quick if we can. Let's do it all as one. Actually, I think it might be faster. So it's, yeah, the hatchet for the meat. And then the knife for the other two will probably be the most efficient way to break it down. I think so. Try to do as much as we can here before dark. And then maybe get a full night's sleep and go crafting all day tomorrow. Build a fire and cook up some of this meat. I definitely want those in my hand. I definitely want this in my hand. This is all cured. That's great. Rabbits are all cured up. That one's not ready. There is some stuff in here that's done and some stuff that's not, so I'm just going to pick it all up and start over. That's all cured. That's fresh. Those are fresh. Okay. One fresh rabbit pelt. That's the one we just harvested. Those are all still green. Everything else on the floor is still curing. Black bear is sitting on top of a bunch of guts. Let's move that over so we can keep an eye on that stuff. And this became our toolbox, right? So we're not going to use any of that. Oh, it looks like I just put the boots out on display. That's our best pair of running shoes here. Let's go with the running shoes. It's kind of how Reckless Rex wants to roll anyways, just light and fast. No sprint penalty except for this 1% on the sweater, which I'm willing to accept because it's a good sweater to have. And there were some combat boots at one point. I wonder where those ended up. Must have left them maybe in the cabin. I don't recall. It's really the only place that we've been. Alright, so that ammo can go in there. We'll keep a couple of sewing kits on hand because we're about to start crafting some stuff. The cooking pots we'll bring with us because we'll make water while we're out there. And we don't need these. Noisemakers were cool, but not necessary. The pistol can go away, and I think that's everything that we want to leave behind in terms of tools. Are there any casings or in here? Anything useful for us to bring? I think that's it. So we should be good on that. Got one box of matches, which is plenty. We've got some food, although none of it's cooked. So let's go out and do that right now. Put these back in here so that all of the ammo is consolidated. I thought we had a few more like rifle shell casings and whatnot, but I don't really remember. Don't need any of that. Anything in here that we want to bring? So many sardines. Nope. And we'll bring all that so we can cook it. And that should be good. Rifles on the wall. Come back and deck this place out. We need to eat and we need to drink. I'm gonna leave the cedar firewood untouched as long as possible because we know we need several of those to build the workbench, which is our goal. To convert this trailer into a workshop. So we have to do this obstacle course over and over again. Do our first bit of crafting in there, lighten the load a little bit, do what we can, deconstruct the workbench, and then rebuild it in our trailer here. Alright. I don't really think there's anything else that we can do except just kind of wait for this meat to cook up. And then we'll eat some bear meat and get hydrated. Fire going as long as we can. Drink a little bit of water so that we're not losing condition. Oh, I should have checked the fire. Oof, got lucky there, I kind of forgot. Oh, the wind's blowing it out. This is a horrible place to try to have fire. This has happened to me both times we've tried to do fire here. And then I'll go around the other side and the wind shifts. You can see that it's kind of blowing in from this way. But we got 2 more pieces out of it. So let's just go to bed. Try to keep all of the cedar firewood separate. That's all cedar. So 6, so we need, was it 15? Like 9 more of those. Go cut up some fallen limbs. Alright. Eat the rest of this bear meat, get nice and filled up. Should be enough for tomorrow. Drink the water. And we'll sleep for Sleep for 10 hours. Where does that put us in terms of recovery time? Oh man, we're gonna recover shortly after we start crafting. So, we did it. Unless I fall in the water trying to get back to the workshop. I don't know if there'll be anything celebratory about recovering back to full health. But in just under 3 hours, we'll know. We'll just continue on business as usual, like we had decided. We're right at kind of the limit for weight, so this is perfect. We're kind of taking everything that we can over to the workshop, and we will craft as much as we are able. We'll watch ourselves recover back to full health, and then technically that was, kind of the end of the mission. But we'll finish our objectives and sign off. At least to the extent that they're relatively interesting to watch. We'll give Rex a hat and maybe take apart the workbench just to see what that whole process is like, because I've never done that before. Been kind of a fun adventure, trying to stick to the one map of Bleak Inlet, a map that I didn't know very well, and definitely know much better now. And also know it as a place that don't really want to come back to. Try to do this differently. Hey, you got some socks at the buzzer. I think this is the way they want you to do it. Kept going out to those other two, like, planks, and I was getting stuck in a really weird way. It didn't seem like I should be getting stuck, but I kept getting stuck. Speaking of stuck, I think we walked over to that first aid kit ever, but I'm not really super interested in seeing what's in it. I'm not sure how many days it took. So we're on day 13, so just about 2 weeks of pretty rough and tumble struggle and a couple of really close calls. But there really is not much of a threat to Rex's life anymore unless the Aurora chimes in and electrocutes him while he's crafting something. Oh no. Oh, okay. I thought that door was going to lock us out. It almost looks like you could walk right into this building during an Aurora and electrocute yourself, but I guess we know that's not the case because that's how we got in here the first time. Alright. So here's the workbench. Let's go ahead and turn off the lights. I'm going to hold those in my hand. And what else have we brought over here? Oh, there's all the casings. We had a couple that we already brought. And yeah, so we've got some ammo material. I probably should have grabbed another battery. I don't know how much 6 lead's gonna do. It doesn't really matter. We're just gonna do it to kind of demonstrate what it is. Let's start with the rabbit skin hat. And we'll just go for all 3.5 hours. Put that right on his head. And there's the cheated death penalty healed. So a hat for a prize of fully recovered Rex. Oh, look at that. It didn't give us full health. It just cleared the health bar. So we can use the rest of the day to do all the things that we wanted to do and then get a good night's sleep and come back and end Rex fully recovered with his new rabbit skin hat and maybe some bullets to spare. So what do we need to do here? We can make bullets, gunpowder. Looks like you could build noisemakers too. What's that weird container? It's a floating container. Now we need these. We know we need this. Let's take all the ammo stuff. I don't know if we need a fire or what. Oh, charcoal too. Okay. Don't need it for gunpowder. Alright, so that was it for that because we need more stump remover. And we can make a bullet, 6 bullets. Okay, so that gave us requires an active fire. It's an ammunition forge. Take some more charcoal. Start up a quick fire. We don't want to burn the cedar, because that's going to be for the new workbench. Does it have to be like a certain temperature like the other forge? I wonder. Doesn't really look like it. It just has to be on fire. So it takes an hour to build the bullets. I think that's really all we need because we only have 6 total. So we'll make 2 revolver casings. It takes 10 minutes to pack it all together. And we'll make 4 rifle cartridges. Cool. So what did that give us? Poor revolver ammunition and poor rifle ammunition. I imagine that gets better as you increase your skill. Right on. Does that thing do anything? Doesn't look like it. Maybe with some power from the Aurora. I wonder if this box will ever stay on the ground. It's kind of weird. It's like on the ground now, but Seemed like it floated back to the surface the last time. Alright, so we'll leave all things ammunition here in case we ever decide to come back and build more bullets. I bring the scrap metal with me because that can be used for all kinds of stuff. Gunpowder, we used all the casings, I guess. And that's it. So let's get this on the floor. And get this on the floor. And let's just double check that we're not going to mess this up. I don't want to have no way of building anything here at Bleak Inlet. So the workbench requires a furniture workbench, and the furniture workbench where's the furniture workbench? Requires 10 cedar wood and it can be built anywhere. Okay, so we can break this thing down and build the furniture workbench over at the trailer and then build the other workbench after that. Which is what we'll do. I think this takes quite a bit of time to break down. 3 hours with a hacksaw. Okay. Alright, there it goes. So, I guess there's no reason to have that in here. Pretty much going to only use this for ammo crafting at this point. I don't think that we left anything behind. I remember searching this place pretty well. And as long as the main things are empty, I'm just going to kind of consider it searched out. I think I do want to bring one of these over to the trailer. Just to kind of have a place to indicate where the broom is being hung up next to the door. Alright, that'll do it for the crafting in here, and now we just need to make sure we get enough cedar to build the furniture workbench, and then more cedar for the regular workbench. I know I don't have to walk across all the rafters again. If I can fall down here, maybe? Not 100% sure where I can walk back up, though. So this isn't really that much further. There was also that one first aid box that I'm not sure we ever looked at. So we might as well clear it out. The day is ending. See those matches? Alright, here it is. I see why I never walked over there. It's like not really that convenient to go get it. See if I can just hustle over and get it. Oh, I did do it. Look at me. Not sure I have 10 cedar on me just yet. 6 and 8. So we'll drop that off. All of a sudden we're pretty heavy. That thing's not light. I wonder if you can ever just find those laying around. I can't recall ever having seen that. Put all of our cured materials away. Keep that. Firewood out and put that away. The toolboxes can all stay out. I like to put those on the workbench once they're created. Oh, look at that, they all stacked up. There's our little, all of our tools getting ready. Fishing line we don't need. Carrying this bear meat around because didn't end up cooking it, which I probably should have. And we're back to underweight, which is nice. Oh, and yeah, and we found some socks. Bex gets socks. Alright, operation. Lots of cedar. You gonna get hungry? He is. We have to address that. Maybe I can build a fire out there and chop wood while I cook. Bear meat. Somewhere out here, I think, is going to be the best place to find that. And I kind of actually have to walk quite a ways. Maybe up in the hills above, if I don't go towards the water, but I go up to the left instead. Yeah, like over here. There's two different types of wood that are laying down as limbs, the fir and the cedar, and at first they're really hard to distinguish, but as you start looking at them a little more closely, they're actually pretty different. The fir is like shorter and kind of fatter, and also a little bit darker in color, whereas the cedar tends to be kind of like longer and more narrow, and is usually a lot more plentiful. It's much easier to find cedar in general than fir, but I obviously don't know my way around this map too well, and so far not seeing anything that sticks, and I need to eat. So I might have to just make a fire and address that first. There's like nothing here. We're just gonna have to walk into the forests behind trailers. It's like every time I start a fire here, the wind picks up, and it doesn't seem to matter where I start the fire, the wind is always coming from the direction that will blow it out. There's a fire barrel, that would be helpful. But it doesn't look like there is. I see another box of matches. gonna make it 30 minutes? 377 calories. Oh, that's what the bear meat's gonna produce, not how much it's gonna take. I have 200 calories. I don't think that it burns that much in 30 minutes, so let's do this. Eat that. Eat that. More matches. We got 30 minutes. Let's see, any fallen wood over here. It's pretty scarce, actually. Alright, is there anything we can do? Get the rest of this newspaper out of our hands. And 5 minutes until ready. Eat that. I hear another aurora starting up. Alright, so that takes 40 minutes. It's 43 minutes. I'm just going to leave that unattended, and when I come back, as long as the wind hasn't picked up, it should be done. This is good, because if the aurora does come up, it won't get like dark and stormy on us. It tends to stay clear with the lights flashing all through the sky. I had 8, and I need 10 to build the workbench and 15, or 10 to build the furniture bench and 15 to build the workbench. So I've got a lot of work to do. There's like no fallen wood in here. It's like getting quite a ways away from home. I was hoping that stuff would be much closer. I kind of remember seeing some on our hike out to the caves. That's a long ways away, and here I am exhausted again. Doesn't it seem like I'm just always tired? Okay, there's a piece. That kind of looks like fur. Yeah. It's not what we want. It's kind of a cool, like, high meadow that we've come across. Little maple sapling for a bow. Is this an old snow shelter? Oh yeah, look at that. With a magnifying glass, it's kind of cool. Start fires under the light of the sun. So, I don't know if you were looking at like too closely at the difference between that limb and this one, but you can kind of see it's a little bit thinner, a little bit longer, and that's the difference between cedar and fir. So we've got enough to build the furniture workbench now. But while we're out here, we might as well, you know, do it all. It looks like my health popped up a little bit with the recovery. Because that's... You can actually look. On day 13, what was the maximum? 43%, so... We got like a 15% boost, which means we're probably losing health being out here. Oh, I don't have any water. Okay. Well. Let's have ourselves another fire. And let's just spark it right up. Put on some. Do this first. And we'll just go 18 till melted, 19 till boiled. Drink that. Take that. Do a couple big pots of water. So it's like like a 2-hour fire. Just go out one at a time. Got some more cedar here. Chop that down. Check on our water. 12 minutes till melted. Let's just make sure we're not going to lose track. Hour till boiled. That should do it. And it'll let us chop this one down. We're doing 3 at a time, so we're making pretty good progress. We've got 12 plus, what was it, 6 back at home? So 18, and we need 25. 7 more, so we kind of need to find 3 more limbs. Bring our water with us. Forget the pots. And see anything out there? Looks like it's gonna kind of be a walk. Maybe we build the furniture bench tonight, lose some weight, go back on another quick adventure in the morning. Do one more day. Yeah, because I'm pretty heavy and slow. I bet I can skip down the backside of this hill, though, that I was unable to walk up. Not have to go all the way around. Probably cost me an ankle or two, but all we're trying to do is go to bed anyways, so no big deal. If there's any more deadwood before we get there, I'll take it for sure. But we kind of looked up this slope on the way and didn't see anything. A little berm there. I wonder if that would hurt to walk over. No, I think that's it. At least we got the express way down. It's nice. That made for a much shorter slog with all of this wood than it would have been. I think in the morning it's probably best to just go back in that direction because the coastline obviously isn't going to have anything, and then walking up towards the cabin, well, that could actually, we take the road towards like the general direction of the secret pathway. We'll find some stuff over there. We'll change of scenery. build the furniture bench before bed. Although he's very tired. I don't know if that matters. Just need the woodworking tools and bring all this inside. Woodworking tools, and I probably can't do it in the dark anyways, so let's see what he says. Alright, we'll kill the light and just see if he's even willing to do this. Yeah, too dark. So bedtime it is. Got plenty of food. Oh, we left the bear meat by the washout trailer, so I guess we'll go back that way anyways to pick up our food. We can maybe make a big loop around the in the other direction and grab some wood over by the cabin. All right, 10 hours. Let's do it. So look at that. Rex is all healed up. Actually did a pretty good job of accomplishing everything we wanted to do in the time. It's all just kind of like housekeeping stuff from here and just kind of like dialing out the base and kind of making sure that Rex is as comfortable as he can be, which I think is going to be a good place to end the series. So I am going to go ahead and take the time to clear out this zone, break down all the stuff that isn't going to be used. We'll go get the last of the wood. We'll build the furniture workbench, kind of show the final product of the trailer as a base here, and then I'll leave it to you guys to see if you want to see more from Reckless Rex ever, or if he just kind of lives in limbo here in the Bleak Inlet trailer all by himself. I guess before I get moving, I can finish this workbench. It's pretty hungry. Food has been a constant issue for Rex because I'm never cooking enough food. I'm only like cooking and eating. Got a little more to work with. So. Alright, I think that should be okay. Alright, there it is. Just get it laid down here. And then move this over and we'll break that down in a little while. I will get rid of this bed. I can get the furniture workbench into position. Looks like it could be cool right here at the end. Looks pretty cool. This shelf might be cool between the windows here. Maybe display all of our cans. And we've got our bed in the corner. This one is no longer of any use to us. Okay. So what are we working with? We have 10. So we need 5 to make the workbench. Right? Yep, 5 more. And we have the vise. And we will have the tools as well. Let's leave that behind. Stay light and fast. We'll go get our bear meat. Chop down 2 more limbs. Come back, build the workbench. Rex will be a happy camper. The problem is that, like, after 10 hours, he's not, like, fully recovered. I'm already halfway tired just starting the day. Oh, I guess I did 4 hours of furniture building. How confident are we that this bear meat cooked while I was unattended? The aurora was out, so that usually prevents the wind and the weather from being a major factor. I think you get pretty stable conditions when the aurora is dominating the night. Cold and cooked. Just how we like it. Let's go ahead and eat that now. Build another fire out there in the wilderness. Once we find 2 more cedar limbs, which unfortunately we have to walk a little bit of a ways for, which is kind of a bummer. Unless there's something here in the middle, which I'm definitely going to double check. I don't see anything. There's a down tree in front of me that maybe has some cedar around it. I think what I'm looking at is too big to chop. Gonna be it. Get up to some higher ground. At least we're kind of taking a different path, so we're not going to overlap terrain that we've already seen, that we know doesn't have it. I think I just need to get back into the woods over there because this is all just like coast and stuff. Well, it's been fun doing this, like I said at the beginning. This was kind of my first stream of any gameplay, and I hope you guys liked it. Tried to keep it exciting by playing kind of loose and fast, but also on an easy mode so as not to, you know, boast skill so much as to show that you can really get into this game at an entry level and have a lot of enjoyment. It does get significantly harder as you go through the difficulties. Your decisions are much more consequential, and bad decisions are much more costly. But if you're looking for, you know, a game that is just a chill experience with amazing artwork, killer soundtrack, and just like the apocalypse concept without the zombies, you need look no further than The Long Dark. It's, in my opinion, it's basically a perfect game. It's simple enough to where, you know, the crafting and the combinations of things that you pick up and can use isn't overwhelming, but it's you know, it's engaging enough to keep you coming back, trying new things, developing new strategies, and basically becoming a better player with every character that you run through. You know, on the harder difficulties especially, it's really difficult to have a successful run on your first try. And so, you make a mistake, you die, come back with that knowledge. You'll never make that mistake again, but you'll find a new way to kill yourself. And but with each one, you become a better player, you become a more well-rounded survivor. You start to be able to play the game without all of the tools and resources that are available to you, because a lot of times they're just not there. So you have to make do without them. And it makes for a brand new experience every single time you start a new character and you start a new run. So you can jump back and forth between difficulties. You can jump back and forth between specific regions in the map. Try to master one region and maybe never leave, kind of like what we did with Bleak Inlet here with a slight asterisk, because we left to go around and find the way to unlock the top. Or just, you know, start a random game and figure out where you are and figure out how to survive, figure out where you want to be, where you need to go, or, you know, do it nomad style and never stop moving. Take this while we're here. Figuring out what tools you want to carry. You know, what your kit looks like. We talked a little bit about that on one of the episodes of what are the essential items that you feel you must carry. And, you know, every player obviously has their own opinion on what those items are, but every player also probably has some contingencies based on where they are and what they're trying to do. So, if nothing else, it's super fun to just make do with the gear that you have, try to find the gear that you want, and build a kit that enables you to survive indefinitely under any conditions. So yeah, I found this game. It was like, it was almost free. I think it was like $3. Okay, I'll try it. However many hundreds of hours later, here I am. Just still loving it like it was day one. And if you haven't discovered The Long Dark yet, go check it out. My goal is to clear the misery mode. The last affliction, which if you don't know anything about misery mode, you can go look it up and check it out. But essentially it's a difficulty mode where things will happen to you regardless of the decisions you make. They're on kind of a schedule, and your player becomes more and more compromised as time moves forward. With the last affliction, as it were, coming like 50 days in, and it's absolutely desperate. It's extremely difficult. Wildlife is super aggressive. The resources are almost non-existent. The environment is as cold as it can be almost immediately. And it's very, very hard. So I have yet to succeed in that. And I'm going to wait until I do before I get the downloadable content, because the expansion makes it significantly easier. We walked the whole map, guys, and didn't find a single cedar limb. That's super lame. The expansion makes it significantly easier with the food that's available. There's just so many new kinds of food. There's a couple of extra animals that are introduced that can help you survive, and there's some stuff that you can do with the way that you prepare the food that kind of nerfs the difficulty a little bit. Obviously you can avoid those things if you want the full experience, but I figure try to do it without the perks first, and then now we'll kind of had explored the base game to its full extent. You can add the expansion in later. So everything that you've been seeing up to this point is just I guess, the original game. It's been updated several times, and I have done all of the updates. With each release of the Winter Mute episodes comes some stuff for survival mode as well. And so I do have all of that. I guess the original game is far different than what I'm playing, but I don't have the expansion pack installed. So, looking forward to that. Also looking forward to doing a misery run with all of you. Probably go through all of the difficulty levels and make a series of episodes similar to this one. Voyager will be up next, then we'll try Stalker, which I've never played that difficulty, because I've heard that the animals are more aggressive. They'll be coming at you a little more frequently. And I think it has some of the elements of Voyager that you won't find in Interloper. Like, I think you can still get the firearms, the rifle, whereas in Interloper the difficulty above Stalker. It doesn't have any firearms, so you have to hunt exclusively with the bow. And if you haven't done that, that's too much. Oh gosh, that was scary because I'm like almost exhausted, and that was a lot of ice to run across without the ability to sprint. I'm gonna try it again because I'm an idiot. Oh, see, if that had happened over there, that would have been in the drink. So, here we are. Exhausted again. I think I see a couple of big limbs out there. We only need 2 more. If this ice is thin, I could be in trouble because I no longer have the ability to sprint. Okay, we're alright. And I do see 2 cedar limbs, I think. So we just took one more scenic loop around Weak Inlet to praise the makers of The Long Dark for an amazing game. Worst things have happened. We'll double check we have the inventory. But I think 6 is all we needed, and 6 is what we got. If there's anything else in immediate sight, we'll take it just to be extra safe, but I don't see anything, and I'm fairly confident that that was the quota. So let's not fall through the ice and die right at the end of the game. This is like scary shadows across the water here. Can't tell what's what. Definitely know that this next section has some thin spots. And I no longer can sprint, so we're gonna have to be very careful about the path we choose. I don't really remember which way I came in from. This is spooky. Oof. I got stuck on the exit. Ghost tree, it has like a halo around it. Oh, they all do. Some weird lighting. So we're gonna have to do one more sleep, wake up in the morning, build our workbench, and Rex will be ready for the frozen apocalypse for the foreseeable future. last walk for Rex. Reckless Rex. It's been a journey. It's been an adventure. I think Blink Inlet is a good place to just kind of listen to the ambient noise. You have the tide. Coming in and out. Not overly abundant with animals. And aside from the timber wolves that are everywhere. Pretty peaceful place. Different story anywhere else. Difficulty level. Alright, so once again I forgot to cook any extra food. And the one downfall of the trailer is that there is no fire. So we'll double check that we have this reishi tea, which we do, and we'll go ahead and just get filled up on raw moldy meat. It's going to give us food poisoning. But that's okay. We'll drink this to neutralize the food poisoning. Put down a couple of these. Try to keep that 2 liters of water is a good amount to keep on. Drink the rest of our water. Lights out. One more sleep for Rex. Two weeks. Rex is a happy camper. Alright. Did we do it? Did we count correctly? 16. That'll do it. Alright. Oh, we need this. Workbench. 18 hours? Holy moly. Alright, let's do it in 6-hour shifts. 3 apiece. It's gonna get dark on us. It's like barely worth it. I mean, that's a lot of time to be spent behind the bench. But I guess if you're trying to relocate a base like we are, it's worth it. Got a little bit of time. I'm just going to go for another 6-hour shift. Let the darkness cancel the work when it gets too dark. Go to bed, do it one more time. See if we can get another 6 out of it. We might be able to. Pretty close. Alright. All day spent in the cabin just tinkering away. Rex has enough food. Did I drink any water? Still kind of dark. Let's see if they let him get away with it. 7 hours to go. So, looks like I still have enough food in me. Still dark. Well, it's not going to be dark for long. Let's see if there's anything productive we can do. If we had a book. I have a book about gunsmithing. Let's go outside, get some fresh air. Might even be too dark to read out here. Two hours. It's very cold. Alright, that looks like it should be light enough to finish the job. This could actually work out perfect because it'll give us the light. I don't know. We'll do a 3-hour shift and see where we are on food because it's a little bit hungry. Alright, 4 hours, let's send it. If he starts getting hungry, we should be able to see it before it becomes an emergency. No. Alright. I think it usually lives... It's always a little confusing where to find it. Once it's done. Okay, so I selected the blueprint and now I can hit the container and I'll deploy it and then it should be good to go. Look at that. It's big. Look like this. It's gonna let me put that thing down? Not really. Probably because of all the stuff on the ground. Let's try this real quick. Just clear out the floor. Huh. Why doesn't it want to let me put that down? Okay. So we got a big old workbench at the end of the row. And a furniture workbench next to it. It's not very cooperative in terms of setting it up. I don't know why that wants to be like in the middle of the floor. Sometimes if you like leave the house and then come back, it kind of resets the ability to place things. So we'll try that. And if not, well, can't say Rex didn't try. Yeah, it doesn't really want to, it like only wants to be in that orientation. As soon as I start to rotate it. Huh. It like doesn't want to be up against the wall. That's strange, but the workbench was okay. Maybe it just has to be like that. Just have like our little kind of contrived corner. It is a trailer after all, so we are compressed on space, but yeah, there it is. So we got our furniture workbench with the tools to match. All kinds of furniture and fun to be had. Make a bunch of containers in here, and I mean, you can do custom furniture and stuff too. But We got our workbench here now, so we don't have to go through the parkour. Our little shoe collection, a couple extra tools that we found along the way. Plenty of food. We did the whole run. We started by eating an MRE, which I like to eat those anytime I find them. They're kind of cool survival food. Drank a few sodas along the way until we kind of realized that that was almost like eating the artificial food anyways. But other than that, we left all of the food behind and ate only natural food. Traveled light and fast throughout the pretty much the course of the run. Left behind as much as we really dared, which was quite a bit. Rex is pretty much down to the bare essentials. He wasn't carrying a first aid kit the whole time. He had a few mushroom teas to prevent or to cure intentional food poisoning, and pretty much went through the run with minimal tools, and we took one shot with the rifle and got ourselves one kill of a bear. So that was pretty cool. I did find one wolf pelt along the way. All of our materials are living in here now. And Rex is pretty much cleared out. Dropped the rest of the firewood outside for future fires. Come back in. Got our little zone. We already looked over there. Last of the inventory is... Oh, I missed some firewood. We'll do that. Fire starter, a couple of herbs, bare essentials on the clothing, 1 liter of water, some cattails so he doesn't starve, hacksaw, hatchet, hunting knife, pry bar. And Rex is a happy camper. Alright guys, we're going to leave him here. If you want to see Rex continue his adventure, leave some comments, give me some ideas. Let me see what you want, or tell me what you'd like to see him do next. Probably leave Bleak Inlet would be a good start and continue a new adventure. Reckless Rex has some ideas on how he would do that, but would love to hear from you guys. And for now, he will live in the trailer and await further orders. Thanks for spending your time with me, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.